Hey, what's going on, missioners? All right, so I realized today that I am not my circumstances, I am my mind. I am not my circumstances, I am my mindset. So I've come to the realization that no matter what your circumstances are, that's not who you are. And that's real shit. A lot of people, including myself, like to link you to your current circumstance. And when I was talking to a Libra today, I realized that when I'm talking to my South Node, I just made a video on my YouTube channel, Mission Based Astrology 101, about South Node aggravation. I realized that a lot of Tauruses and Libras link your direct being to your materialistic gain or your tangible gain. And I realized that's not who I am. Because I realized when they would say things that are really shallow and they would say things that are not true about me, to me, and I was like, no, that's not psychologically. If you really look at the itty bitty details of what's going on in my life, that's a shallow assumption that's a shallow way to see that. And because I wouldn't see it that way, because my mind is a little bit deeper, and I realized our differences. So because a Libra, whether it be Sun, Libra or Taurus, Sun, Moon, Mercury, or Rising, it's not about astrology, but it's my business channel, so we can get into business in a second. My Sun, Moon, Rising, and Sun, Moon, Rising, Mercury, and Mars in Taurus or Libra, they link your identity with what your circumstance is. They link your identity to where your bank account is. From my parents, who are both Tauruses, they were very much linked. Like my mother used to call me a bum because I wasn't making any money, and I realized I was no bum. You feel what I'm saying? I realized that I was no bum. I realized that I said I slept next to bums, and I was none of them. I've been next to bums. Bums are people who gave up on life and they chose to be a beggar. That's not me. I was having a temporary circumstance where I didn't have any money coming in, and I realized as I grow older, that's a lot of adults. Wow. Okay. So I realized that both of my parents were absolutely wrong, because I realized when my financial situation changed, it was not, child, in the spirit. It was not because of my bank account. It was because of my mind. It was because I took an idea and I went out and I made that shit the fuck happen. It wasn't because you could look at your bank account all day and all night. You could put it like this. You could look at your computer all day and all night, but it's not gonna make you no money. It's the mind, the person you're looking at, behind the computer that's making the money. The computer that I bought for $219.99 is not making no money. It's gonna sit there, and it's like put it like this: the Taurus a lot of people. Let's not get too deep into astrology. A lot of people would think you ain't shit because this wasn't $1,000. Let me say that again. A lot of people would think you ain't shit, and to some extent, it's true. What I mean by that, this is a reflection of your mindset, but it's not fully who you are. So, when I understand that this doesn't define me, this right here, because I can turn this 219 turn into $500. The lady gave me the sale for $333 that purchased this, and then it turned around and she came back and she sent me $500. So I already get preached up with this bitch. That's I already made this money back for this computer. So that was not because I'm fancy and because I look pretty. Because my circumstance right now, yo, you wouldn't think, oh, I'm balling and I'm this, that, and the third. My hair is not, the fanciest, and my glasses is thick and all this other shit. That's not what made me the money. It was my mind that made me the money. She wants to fuck with me because of my mind, and she don't even want to do what I fully tell her to do. And I bet you, if I go hard in the next 20 days till her trial is over, she'll pay me again another $500. So it is not the circumstance that makes the man. It is the mind. So while we have this corona kashmona shit going on, I'm telling you, it's your mind that will make the difference in this current scenario. So when I tell my friends, like, yo, you need to be focusing on making some money right now. I get it, like you could barter and you could build relationships and you could get all the guns in the world, but guns cost money. But it's in some states, you hear me? You heard? In some states, your lights won't be cut off. In some states, your water won't be cut off. In some states, you can't get kicked out. But that's not in every state. In some states, they don't give a fuck if the fucking corona was in 60% of your motherfucking town. What's going on? What's corona? I'm sorry, I call it corona kashmona. It's like a whole scam, but it's really the coronavirus. So with this coronavirus, in some states, they don't give a fuck if your mama just died from the shit. You still gotta pay that light bill. They don't give a fuck if your pop just died from the shit. They say, we need our rent money, please. I'm sorry to hear that. Damn. So you're like, if your job just fired you, God forbid, what do you do next? It is your mind that you gotta depend on after. And I realized that, like, I was trying to seek wisdom from people who would define me or Corona Kashmona. I don't really, the other word is I don't really define, but I just made some shit up because I think it's a falsehood. But I think it's a scam for the real scare. The real scare is not the. Let me tell you something. The real scare, and somebody said something deep to me today to add to what I said. The real scare is not the corona disease. The real scare is the virus. The vaccine. And then he said to me something deep. He said, when you go back to school, they're gonna demand vaccines, and two, they're gonna demand vaccines for you to go back to work and school. So again, if you're not trying to figure out some way to make some money as an entrepreneur right now, yo, if stuff, let's say, smooths over, what if they say if you can't come back to work unless you have a vaccine, you need to show up? And he said that today, and that's really a possibility. He said, what if they say you gotta show documentation that you have a vaccine for the coronavirus? What do you do then? And if you don't have it, if you're not an entrepreneur, you're fucked. Because you see how Starbucks and McDonald's and Walmart and not even Walmart, Amazon and all these stores are shutting down, meaning the CEOs are all in cahoots. Yeah. See, I like that. See, I'm glad you spelled it out. You heard? I'm gonna write that shit. Yeah. The Corona Kashmona bullshit. Yeah. That's what I meant. You heard? Put that in the dictionary. You heard? So the Corona Kashmona bullshit. You gotta realize that, like, yo, it's two things. Nature's forcing you to go back to what it used to be, and two, if you're not becoming an entrepreneur, you're fucked right now. Because again, what if your job laid you off? What if, not even if your job laid you off, what if you can't go to work because you got kids? Like, that's a real thing. What if, um, what if your grandmother, or something's getting sick, or, you don't have nobody watch your babies? That's a thing. So, it is not in these times, you cannot define yourself by your current financial circumstances. You need to define yourself, and I'm doing my best because my Mercury's in Taurus, so I can easily define myself by materialistic gain. But you need to define yourself on how you can fine tune your mind to find an opportunity right now to create some wealth. And even if that's in a 60-day span of, let's say you made $10,000 in 60 days, that's better than relying on a paycheck right now. Right now, that's way better than saying, I'm waiting for my job. Because at any moment, they say, yo, too many people up in here, we can't avoid no lawsuits, da 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 da. That's a real thing. Where they said we gotta shut down because it's too many. I'm even worried. I'm so worried about both my parents right now because my mother works in a hospital, and well, she's probably safe. And my father's a personal trainer with no online presence. So I'm wondering what the fuck are they doing right now? And because it's a real thing where the facilities can get shut down, you can't train people, everything can get shut the fuck down. Like my friend in New York, we were just talking for a brief second, and he was like, yo, everything up here is a ghost town. It's done, like finished, all that, closed. The fucking ghost town up here. So, in this time, you need to be defined by your thoughts and your mind. And how well you're going to take action on what comes from up here. Because I realize that, right, and when I'm talking to my friends today, that they are, because they have major Libra placements and major Taurus placements, they'll define you very, and it's not their fault, but it's just what it is, because that's how the stars set them up. They will judge you based on your mindset. And I'm telling you, yeah, you can learn how to plan and cook your food and all that, grow your food. This ain't the time for all that. Emergency right now. But you need to develop a wealth mindset very, very, very quickly. And you need to find something that is $250 to $500 to sell that people need right now. Or you need to find something in need right now that you can sell. And one thing that I'm using right now while I was talking to y'all is I'm listening to Brazil. Hold up. Flip the screen. I'm listening to the Brazil chant and a book called Dollars Want Me. And this is a serious thing. This is a serious mantra that will help you get into a wealth mindset. Because you need to be more defined by this than you talking about, oh, I don't got enough money in the bank, and you need to find a way to create some income. And that doesn't mean go get a second job, because you can't do that right now. You can't go get a second job right now. You need to find out what's in you. Then it's true. I heard this more than once. You need to figure out what's in you that you've been sitting on that you have that could be making you some money right now. And I don't need some lotion potion bullshit. That's not really because right now I need lotion. But if what's sitting in you that people need right now, that could be making you some money. And trust and believe. You listen to this money mantra right here, it is not a fucking joke. You heard? This helped me have manifest. I've manifested thousands of fucking dollars. Listen to this shit right here. I listen to this shit. I'm listening to this shit so far right now, an hour a day. Listening to Brazil, this shit is not a joke. For the point where every time I listen to it at certain times at night now I have a dream about money. Because my subconscious is changing. It is not a joke. This is not nothing to play with. While YouTube is still free, you heard? While YouTube is still free, I suggest, yeah, that's what I like. That's what I like. Taking action, you heard? That's what I like. But dollars want me. That book in these times is not something to play with. It's not something to, oh, I'm trying to think about it. Fuck all that. You need to be listening to that on fucking repeat. Because it doesn't talk about money like, oh, I'm going to be a slave to money. It's like, no, you need to master that shit. This right here will help you make so much fucking money. But it's not on some, oh, but it's not overnight. Well, it can be overnight depending on who you are. But it definitely changes your frequency. It definitely changes your understanding of money. And I've come to the realization this is just as important as saying, "Oh, I get a whole bunch of dollars in my bank account." I said because when you listen to Dollars Want Me, one of the things that it says is that you are not to be defined by the economy. Because there's somebody right now like Soldier Boy who is banking on money, who tripled his profit in the coronavirus. And I would say it like this, last but not least, because it's your mind that defines you. I would stay away from people who see money as not important right now. Now, is money the only thing that's valuable right now? No. Because it could change. But the dollar is not going to switch overnight. They're not going to change to Bitcoin overnight. They're not doing that. They're not gonna say, oh, all monetary money is nothing. It's useless. You can't do nothing. They're not doing that right now. So while the dollar is still valid, while the dollar is still useful, while you can still use the dollar, I suggest you get as many as possible to that's working for you. So like I said, yeah, peace.